Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with our first grand finalist, the rank 1 Terran in Korea, the 9-time GSL champion. In the red, it's the man, the myth, the Maru. Facing off against his greatest rival, the rank 1 Protoss in the world. In the blue, the smiling assassin. We have herO in a best-of-7 Terran versus Protoss grand finals to SC Boys $20,000 Rongyi Cup Season 3. And before we get started, it'd be incredible if you could smash that like button, or maybe even subscribe. And we gotta be out with them. And Jimmy, what are we at? Jimmy, yes, it's them again. 1,794 likes on this video, on this cast. And I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As herO has semi-successfully set up a Reaper wall, and Maru has scouted where herO isn't, because of course, on this map you can swing both ways with your early scout, and I'm not one to judge, but so far Maru did not find herO's base, but I'm sure he could narrow it down. herO, on the other hand, of course, sent out the early probe, though he was able to mask the direction at least well enough. There is a single sentry. His defense is wait, there's a Stalker somewhere. Ah, waiting for the Reapers to try to jump up. He knows the map is dark and full of oh no! The sentry used a hallucination, but it's wishing it had that time back, and, well, Maru just kind of runs by, already off to a rambunctious start, and the probes will be suffering for it, as the sentry, they split second before the units came in, and if he had even a couple more, he could have blocked it in time and stopped. No! Oh no, Hellions buttered him up beforehand, which is a weird move, but squeezes past the force field. And the hallucinated Phoenix is also here to help. I'm sure it wasn't any sort of select anything hotkey that he may have panicked in that exact moment. And you know what? herO makes us feel so many things. Both wonder, inspiration, confusion, anger, rage, love. Not necessarily in that order and not necessarily mutually exclusive, but herO with a, I mean, he lost 3 probes, which is not much of a problem to start things off. He's already got 38. He's not going for a quick third, and instead it's Blink with a robotics facility on the way. The Twilight Council is part of the wall, so I don't know if Maru actually, I mean, the Blink is almost implied. The Cyclone gonna try to use the Reaper wall pylon, and, well, this is happening. Blink is still pretty far off, and Maru realizing that a few too many Stalkers around on either side of things to actually snipe it off. A cute move, but the Cyclone is not... the entire purpose of the Cyclone was not reduced to just sniping off that pylon. It would have been nice, yes, but it doesn't end up being a meaningful part. And having the Cyclone is a huge part of taking out smaller bits of units early on. Sometimes we'll see the Widow Mines. Well, ideally the Protoss won't, but sometimes there's just the Hellions. But the Cyclone is kind of your catch-all, where a couple Stalkers or a Warp Prism or even a Stargate unit, rare but possible, can maybe be knocked down. Unfortunately, those Blink Stalkers are picking away the Marines one by one. There's a Cloaked Banshee, and herO just warped in some Zealots at home, which are not great against Banshees, cloaked or otherwise. And, well, the Banshee is okay, well, oh, there's an Observe. That's convenient. Still gonna get a lot of kills with the Banshee. Not necessarily enough. Oh, well, wait, there's more. And the second Banshee, knowing the first Observer is very unlikely to be across the map, will calmly, yet politely, yet firmly ask the Stalkers to leave. I mean, their name is Stalkers, though, so of course they're not going to. Well, a bit of a flirtatious start as both sides trying to pick and prod at the early units. That's how I'm going to phrase it. All right, moving. Jimmy, edit that out. The Observers trying to get any sort of info on whether Maru's moving out. Already charge is nearly complete. A robotics bay in production. Some more gates being filled in. Maru doesn't know about the third base, which is already up and mining. Though herO did kind of slow down on probe production a bit, he doesn't have a massive lead. As I think more focused on putting together the infrastructure to siege. Really? Wow! I want to, real quick, Just a moment. Just a split second of time. The little details. And about as small of details. So, herO notices the siege tanks are split. He goes for the second shot. Maru dodges it into the meta. That Marine feeling like Big Gabe right now. But one herO Marine will not be enough in order to shut down herO. As we puzzle that out, we realize that a huge gateway swell should be enough to shut down early triple threat aggression. I meandered through that sentence, but Maru has a direct focus on this 2-base timing. Yes, he has a third command center, but clearly, with medevacs on the way, the stim, the combat shield, the +1, does he pull any of the boys? Maru makes quite a hobby out of it, especially in the early game, especially against herO. If you saw the RSL finals a couple months ago, we've already gotten further into this game than almost every single one of those. But on a map this massively large, obviously named after your mother, Maru playing a more macro-oriented game. But if he's going to move out, it's got to be soon. Because herO is like a 4th base, don't mind if I do. A 5th base, maybe coming up next. A casual Banshee will snipe off the edges of the base with a shield better doesn't quite cover. The Colossus, just pony trotting down the Reaper Cliff, which actually quite convenient. Banshee, not enough energy for another cloak, but it will kind of spitefully get a couple more probes. And herO only has 58 probes at the moment. The siege tank line, in the most literal sense, for Maru coming together at his 3rd. And if we've seen Maru lately really exemplify, which sounds like a word, I'm pretty sure that's a word, the Ultra Turtle Terran, the UT, if you would. I'm talking literally never moving out past 3 bases. Getting 200 supply of Ghost, Liberator, Viking, and that's most of it, honestly. He ended up killing off his own siege tanks in order to get more Liberators. And right now, it doesn't seem like Maru has very aggressive intentions. The time for chilling has passed, if you would, on that side of things. So, clearly Maru's battening down the hatches, while herO just taking everything else. He's already got 4 bases. He's got so much vision across the map. As the observer spotting for all this, another casual Marine will find its way in. There's a Warp Prism speed on the way. Double upgrades now for herO. But he doesn't yet have any flavor of Templar. So, reliant on the Colossi, the troops of charge lots, just swinging in from any angle. Ideally, Maru isn't looking. But that's the thing about the full Terran. No, it's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. There are 5 siege tanks, a whole bunch of bio, several Vikings overhead. And herO's going to try it anyways. The tanks are unsieged at a fortuitous timing. Unfortunately, you really want to combine both fronts here. Oh, Warp Prism speed is done. He gets by. Well, that's one way to do it. Gets right into the main. Unfortunately, the Marines might be enough to box it out. Going for the full warp in. The Marines didn't focus. And now the attack at the front. herO still finds a way in. He's going to go straight for it. And immediately regret that decision as the siege tanks and Liberators with a Venn diagram of freedom over the top. It ain't gonna happen. He tries to find an angle, but Maru too acutely aware of it. He locks it down, and now he's gonna try a 4th base, which by far the most dangerous part of the game for Maru. He's nearly maxed out, both these players. They've been focused mostly on the tech, on the infrastructure, but they haven't slouched on unit production. And Maru with 96 army supply here. And his upgrade's superior, in a way. He's going to have 2-2 when herO has 2-1. Not a huge disparity, but you definitely don't want to be behind as Terran when you're playing this style. You can kind of afford to be behind as Protoss, because quantity has a quality of its own. The question is exactly how much is it worth? Because herO is taking Nexus number 5, 6, and indeed, after 6 is 7. He's taken his entire side of the map. Just, now, it's not even necessarily that helpful. It's good to have. It's good to be mining from. Maybe go for the gas, but Maru already has a fusion core on the way. And herO has not been one in the past to play that full late game Tempest style. He will send literally hundreds of charge lots into the fray, and either he'll end up frayed by the end, or the Terrans will be afraid of him. Anyways, there's 2 warp prisms on the way, so that certainly tells you the style, the Normandy Beach style that herO intends on playing. Whereas, somewhat lore accurately, the Terrans are tucked in and angry at the Protoss for existing. A dark shrine, a shrine to dark, from his greatest frenemy. Anything but a Stargate is what that means. And I want to point out the lack of the Cyclone lived, at least until that point. 12-minute, what? Triple warp? Well, he's gonna have some missile turrets, but does he have like 6 missile turrets? No. He has 3. Is that enough? I have no idea. herO will rule this sector, see it burnt to ashes around him. Though, somewhat literally with this map. 3 warp prisms. The Vikings moving to intercept. He will get by. 1 goes down, drops him out, opens it up. Yeah, 2 warp prisms get by, no problem. Here come the Vikings. He actually moves in with the army. The Vikings have to be pulled to deal with the Colossi. In the main base, instant warping. Base under fire. Vikings not able to engage in the main. He just keeps warping in. The Zealots at the natural, but the supply depots, literally the streets of the base. Maru, it looks very intentional how he set up his supply depots, how he's made it so difficult for those ranged challenged units in the Zealots. Yeah, they're like, what do we do? Our advanced Protoss warriors. Give them swords. Yeah, that'll be cool. There's another stars. What? herO is using his Nexus for tactical recall. The scan? And Maru, he has 5 orbital commands and counting, going up to 6 and 7. Though he's trying to figure out where herO is. And, well, he'll figure it out in a moment. Unfortunately, he's entirely out of position. Though multiple command centers will funnel the Zealots into the planetary. He just plugs forward over the top, snipes off a couple of the siege tanks, whips disruptors. Whips a couple disruptors out and slams them right into Maru's face. Which, well, that's certainly one way to open things up. Though, he doesn't break the planetary. I think he got 1 orbital command. Yeah. Still though, herO has 11 gateways, which actually seems a bit low considering he's mining 7,800 minerals a minute. Somehow Maru has more income. Wait, was that army size? Sorry. They're not that good. There you go. Meanwhile, both sides maxed out. herO has 83 probes, and that's about the borderline here of what you'd want. Another couple Ruptor shots. Inconvenience some of the bio. But wait! Another one. The Marines and Marauders didn't realize they were taking such a less than ideal. He's actually stimming north, anticipating herO's attack at another angle. But this time around, herO has nothing else. The Liberators are over the rocks here, and Maru's caught between them in a hard place. Though it might actually be herO, because the Liberators with advanced ballistics and +2 ship weapons, they 2-shot Stalkers. And if you whip out an EMP, well, it's 1 shot to put those Stalkers in the unit's loss tab, making them incredibly inefficient. But that's never stopped herO before, as he keeps the fadeaway shots coming out. But here comes Maru. Oh, herO's out of shot. He sacrifices the disruptors to buy time. I'm sure that's what that was and not a total misclick. Meanwhile, the entire army will pretty much crumble, as the Blink Stalkers will be warped in and blink away. Every single robo unit, any unit that couldn't teleport away magically, will be hunted down and killed. As Maru's deathball of Terran is so well entrenched. 6 Liberators, a bunch of Vikings, the cannon's gonna zone it out. He covers both sides, oh sweet liberty. Maru, he can't reinforce easily. Here comes some more Zealots. The Liberators try to knock out the Stalkers. Disruptor shots under the... And the Ghost tries to save some. Big damage. herO fight this war of attrition, but he's still not winning. Maru won't stop. The medevacs will pick up and extract these units at the last moment. The Stalkers will chase down a very unlucky Ghost and a slightly less lucky Liberator. And, well, herO. Actually, the total losses were very similar, because there was a lot of Liberators, several Ghosts, and Maru is still bottled up on his quadrant of the map, while herO's taking pretty much all the rest. The real risk, herO's building mass cannons. The cannons per minute continues to raise, warping in another round of Zealots. Did he get DT Blink? He did. The Disruptors, he target fires the Planetary Fortress, hits the SCVs, knocks it out. Liberators looking to siege again, another salvo. The Stalkers caught within the Liberation Zones. Gonna take the Sensor Tower on the way out. And the Vanguard of Cannons and the Legion of Stalkers and Zealots will continue to be warped in as herO continues the siege. But oh my, the Olympic rings of liberation. Maru. herO is getting to the point where not even herO's Forrest Gumpian spirit magic of Protoss is enough to counteract the sheer power of this Terran unit composition. At some point, you need to engage the Liberators directly. And right now, dancing... Oh, the triple warp prism. Who's the Zerg now? Swings around towards the center, the triple prism towards the main. Drops out a couple Zealots. The rest of the bio scrambling back. Enough Liberators to protect. But herO has sworn off High Templar. He's sworn off the Stargate. Which means, for a few thousand more Zealots, he might... Well, there's only 3 Liberators there. That's enough. He doesn't know that. He only sees the Liberation Zones. Can't know exactly what's behind. Both players mining... herO's going up to... Is that going to be 10 Nexi? He has 10 Nexuses. 10? 10? 10? Double digit. I mean, Maru also has double digit command centers, but his give him map hack, so. Maru's going to 10 orbital commands. All right, this series is so based. Firing off a couple salvos. Another orbital will burn, not that it... Does he have the building armor upgrades? Yes, of course. High-sec auto tracking, building armor. More Liberators. There are only 9 Liberators, but they cover so much ground. Wide stance. The Liberation Zones just tapping on the orbital command with the Disruptors, which is not exactly the ideal usage. The DTs eviscerate a Planetary Fortress. herO's gonna work on full upgrades, plus 3 shields is in production. Still working on the right side. Still no Templar arc. He still only has 11 gates, which is not enough. Like, oh, fire everything! A full volley of Disruptors just unleashes it on the Planetary Fortress. And we're kind of base trading here. Now, Maru has 42 SCVs, which may actually be the solution to absolutely everything. That army supply is redonkulous. Technical term. 153 army supply for Maru. And he's got some money in the bank because herO... Well, herO's got a lot of army on the field, too. No, he doesn't. What am I saying? His army is way smaller. He just got out of the spawning pool, but... Meanwhile, the Liberator... Oh, whoa, okay. The Liberators just pin-cushioning the Stalkers. There's just too many of them. And without Storm, without even Colossi, the only splash damage is Disruptors, which, you know, is not exactly the most reliable of units. Meanwhile, some Zealots being warped into the main. herO's coming back to defend. He can rebuild his... He's rebuilding his production. This is a Brood War strat. He's rebuilding mass gateway and robotics facilities in his expansions. The Zealots coming in. It's dangerously close. Stalkers, Zealots, Disruptor shots. Danger, destruction, disaster. But for who? The Ghosts are cloaked. There's no detection here. The Disruptors won't care too much. And Maru is eventually able to consolidate his forces, targets the pylon, and knocks out the warpin. And herO is down 50 supply. Oh, no. And he's got the Ruptors, but what are you doing? Actually gets a few hits off him. A nuclear missile on the way. But herO had to rebuild the entirety of his infrastructure. The thing is, if he had the time, it might work. But time is one thing in short supply, right? Oh no, it's not a super pilot. He warped in at the only pylon where Maru could jump him like this. The probes were ready to fight the Liberators, but willing and capable are two very different things. And, well, our brave people became refugees. herO is gonna go... Oh! Maru hits him with a solar flare. Convinced of his victory. I mean, he has 157 army supply. 195 total. He's gonna depower another flower of gateways. And herO, of course, is going to micro like 9 Stalkers until they die trying. Because that's how herO do. He has 10 orbital commands, and he's what? Oh, herO. I mean, well, both. Yeah. Maru knows what he's got, and he's willing to show it. How crap. Yeah, sure. Once there were 10 Nexi. Now, it's just a ghost town. Okay, herO. There's no way Maru thinks he needs that many scans. Make no mistake. Now 10 DTs at the moment, he doesn't have any. He always has another scan. 10 orbital... Nuclear launch detected! Nuclear icing on this convoluted cake. And it's actually quite a useful thing. There's no way. You cannot fight that. You cannot. There's no way the Stalkers can fight that. Energy recharge. Yeah, don't let him in. Don't let him in. Force field. That'll do it. Yeah, hit him with the force. Yeah, you can't come in here. This is private property. Well, liberation is at hand. We're liberating your property, says Maru, as he completely dominates herO by the end of game number 1. herO with a stout refusal to go for any sort of splash damage, which couldn't be popped easily like an overripe tomato. And, well, in the extreme late game, Maru is able to hold the line and push it all the way across the map. What are you doing, herO? Well, so that's how things start. herO with 10 Nexi, but 0 units that really can trade with the Turtle Terran in the late game. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, game 2. hero's sending out a probe, which, yeah. So, this map has a worker-only path, a unique feature, where any worker, because of mineral walking magic and the lack of collision, can get through this tiny little employee-only path here. And, well, what you don't know can very much... He's proxy gating in his base. This is straight out of 2010, though both these players are as well, so... You're like, I remember Maru in the GSL, like, on Team Prime. Okay, Grandpa. Like, you'd have to use glasses to watch those matches now. So would most people. Well, I don't think it would help with 360p. Anyways, proxy 2-gate cheese. So, either he scouts it or he doesn't. Like, this is one of the most binary builds in the game. He was like, well, the late game didn't work out. So, let's try something a bit more early game oriented. And, oh, he brings the probe around. He came in from the other side of the ramp. And, I mean, selling it. But is Maru buying? And why wouldn't he be? Maru is a greedy Terran, which is redundant, but he did not SCV scout. He's not even building a Reaper. This is one of those builds that should only work once. And maybe not even that. And he's hiding the Marine. So that way he can get a fact, like, he doesn't want herO to know, because just pretend that herO isn't doing this. Like, if you know it's a Marine, herO's going to send that first Stalker across the map. But unfortunately, herO's probably going to end up sending Stalkers across the map. It's just, he doesn't have to go very far. As the Zealots, the Marine is spotted. And does he go? He's holding. He's going to win. 4 Zealots! Like, there's a non-zero chance Maru just taps out. Like, surprise! The Zealots are inside the house. Their swords much more useful here. Sorry, Psyblades. They didn't go to 2 minutes of Psyblade school in order to... Anyways, they're eviscerating the SCVs. And, like, there is no way in any version of hell that Maru can hold this without herO having a literal stroke. But of course, as always, it's more like a stroke of genius. As who else would try this? Probably SOS. That's the end of the list. This is such... Well, there's Adepts now. And if it was just Zealots, maybe Maru with his pixel-perfect micro. Maybe. But he's already lost 16 SCVs. He has 8 SCVs. He's already dead. SCVs try to repair one another. He might run out of minerals to repair momentarily. The Adept. And Maru has done everything he could in order to bring this back, which is not remotely close to enough. It's not in the same zip or postal code I've been told is the term, or to enough. But herO, in 1/8 of the amount of time it took Maru to win game number 1, will bring it back and tie things up. Now that's efficiency. At this rate, Maru could win 8-1 by the time. It's not how any of this works. But I lose my grasp of basic common sense and reality when especially these two play. I'm not surprised we saw our intense, like, late game macro game. But I would be surprised if we see too many more of them. If you remember, not too many months ago, in a series that I highly recommend all the series, but even more highly. Like, is he... What's he up to? Sort of highly. Anyways. But Maru versus herO in the RSL finals. I believe it was December, a couple months ago. Back and forth. I don't know if there was a single game over 15 minutes, and that's a bit of a spoiler, but not a spoiler at all. Well, here we are on Tourmaline. herO, as they say, claps back. Why did they say that? Because I was clapping. I hope you were as well. Please clap. And like and subscribe. That bit, like, that's not even... Thermal would reject that as too simple. That was such, like... It's so blatantly out. That's one of those 20 or 200 IQ. It works in the Gold League, and it works against the best Terran in Korea. But almost no one in between has fallen for that. I can't believe... Really? Maru, that's never happened to you in the ladder? There's a very real chance no Protoss at the top level of the Korean ladder bothers with that. But, well... Fool me once, though. And there's going to be no chance to fool them again, because the map pool has no more maps. That's the only map where you can get a probe in behind their wall. And if they are uncomfortably... Wait. What is this? Well, herO made a Zealot. Which, last game, it made sense. This one is clearly some sort of shenanigans. Now, the Reaper is headed directly across. herO's got that timed out near perfectly. The vibes were right. And, well, the Zealot... So the reactor is a problem as well. Because the reactor means there's no units. Though, it's probably better. He sees the command center. Is he just going to go? Yeah, sure. I get. There's nothing to stop him right now. And then the Stalker is trotting across the map. I have no idea. This what? He has to repair the reactor, but he can because it's completed. For some reason, you can only repair buildings that are completed. Big job, huh? Oh, Billy, just... Well, he's not saying anything. They don't have mouths, Billy. Okay, Sarge, stop freaking out. Sorry, I am... Flashback. Well, the dance continues. The Zealot's slapping one side of the reactor. The SCV is repairing the other. Eventually, the Zealot will get whittled down. But, well, he might be able to delay the command center, which is certainly more than anything else he's accomplished. But now there's 2 Stalkers. The problem is escalating. But the Cyclone should be enough to deal with this. He locks on to what? Recall? Not even close, baby. Wow. I thought we were going to have another entry into the worst recalls of the week. But herO, with the split-second recall, barely gets the Stalker out. You know what they say. That which doesn't hurt you leaves you permanently damaged and regretting your life decisions. So, at least that Stalker will have some shields. Like and subscribe for existential dread. Maru has a Cyclone drop all loaded up. There's Blink on the way. Oh, there's the Zealot! It came back around. Gonna spot the siege tank, which is pretty important. herO is building, he's going up to 4-gate Blink, which is quite an aggressive proposition. The Cyclone drop is dangerous, but not deadly, or it shouldn't be, and this very unlucky probe is gonna spot it. Eat the lock-on. Blink is not too far off, but Maru should be able to extract himself from this situation before it's done. And then the Reaper comes in. Gonna actually pick off some of the probes, and then just leaves out the front door because, of course, there's nothing there to stop him. Meanwhile, Maru, he did lose... He lost 2 SCVs. His command center was delayed. It was... Oh, yeah, sure. The boys. On their way across the map. The Viking hits the deck, and this is a dangerous push coming together. herO does have an Immortal on the way. I think after seeing the siege tank with the Brave herO Zealot, he realized that he's going to have to deal with something like this. And here we go. The SCVs make this quite a thorny proposition to deal with. That Immortal is going to be required. He blunks forward, just goes straight for the tanks. The SCVs on the front line not repairing. Maybe a missed opportunity. Blast through the Viking. Dancing back. The Immortal juggles past the SCVs. And Sentry will be taken out, but the Stalker's still mostly intact. No way that was intentional. Accidentally loads up into the medevac, and that'll hurt the proposition a little bit more. More Stalkers getting picked off. herO on either side. The push is thinning out. The Cyclone doing a lot of damage to the Immortal, but the Stalker's doing way more damage to the Cyclone. Takes a sip of the shield battery. Immortal blasting through the Viking. A few more sips. Battery nearly out of energy. But Maru's almost entirely out of units, and he pulled the SCVs. That was all of his tech. The barrier on the Immortal. The Warp Prism just in time to save the day. And the Viking will be chased down. The siege tank gonna try to get a few more hits, knowing he won't survive. And herO has actually slapped together a defense. MacGyver's his way out of that situation. Maru, with the SCVs maybe a little bit out of position. herO with the bold call to go immediately for the Immortal. It'll pay off. And now, what does Maru have? Not enough. That's 1 tank. That's none tank. The Immortal's juggled in. He's body blocking him out of the bunker. It's not like the bunker will last much longer. Blinks back. Extracts, all right, swerves back the Immortal. There's almost nothing left. A single tank, but he can just go past it. And of course he will. Blunks right on top. Gets a second shot. But there's almost nothing left to stop herO. And he takes 2 in a row. herO with the casual, trickle-down aggression. Just a Zealot, and then a Stalker, and then it was 2 Stalkers, and Maru thought he could put together a counter push. At least he felt obligated to do so. But herO just dismantles it. herO giveth and herO taketh away. Sometimes from herO. Like, you never know. That's why it's so entertaining. herO takes the lead. Game 4. 10,000 feet. Tarantino's dream. As we load in, herO. That was relatively coherent game. I think the wildness of his overall strategy is sometimes overshadows how unbelievably good his micro is and his confidence. He said before, sometimes he goes a little too far, but he's well schooled and committed to the philosophy of it's better to have lived and die than die without having lived at all. Winter. Quoting Winter. Paraphrasing something I really can't remember, but, you know, that's herO with most of his builds. We'll see what he has in store for us. And Maru, I mean, unfortunately, Maru's strategies have been, again, overshadowed by herO's activities. Out! I assume there was an observer lagging. By the way, shout out to the SC boys for yet again another incredible tournament. They were the hosts in the production of the Thunderfire All-Stars tournament, which herO won not too many weeks ago. And another one. So once you're done watching the herO versus Maru finals, make sure to watch the herO versus... Oh, I spoiled it. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because you'll convince yourself otherwise through that series. But herO versus Raynor. Another... Was it better than herO versus Maru? Is it more worth watching? If I had to choose one, it would still be herO versus Maru. I think. But now we have another herO versus Maru, so I'm going to rescind that. I say I actually choose herO versus Raynor because now you have two options. It doesn't even matter what happens in these next 4 games. We're assuming they go to 7. Did I spoil it? Jimmy? No? Yes? You shouldn't say anything. Just edit that out. But it doesn't matter what happens in these next up to 4 games. It's already been a while. Oh, is that a Stargate in this economy? Not even herO reaches for the star. Well, he only reaches for the Stargate when it makes the least sense, which is as an opener, especially against someone who's been going Cyclone every game. But the probe, wow. Maru with a quick command center, double gas, Cyclone rush. Does he even have a unit? Again, I was too busy pontificating with whatever that meandering disaster piece of a monologue was to point out that Maru went Cyclone first. He literally has no other units. He got a Cyclone first after maybe a command center for weird. Wild. And also one of the worst scenarios to ever be going. What are you doing? Oh my god. Oh, sweet Tassadar. He has 4 gas. No. That's for a lot of tech. Now he has a Stargate done. What? A fleet beacon! No, what? herO? What? The beacon is lit! And I call for mental aid. Why? This is a Mothership rush. He's not building a second Stargate. There's one Widow Mine. There it is. Yep. And that is part of why the Oracle kind of... Yeah. Okay, never mind. Well, he's building a Tempest, but... So this is kind of... This is a Protoss versus Zerg strategy, so it kind of works like Protoss versus Zerg, but worse. because Terran has a lot of built-in anti-air that can come across the map and kill you, much unlike Queens. Well, rub it in, why don't you? We're already not even here. You have to just test it. It's true. No. Well, maybe just leave us out of it. Sorry. Sorry. I, blacked out for a mothership. A mothership. hero's like, took the lead. All right, let's break out the mothership rush. I am not convinced that's even relevant. If he was down 0-3 right now, I give it at least a 50-50 chance that he would have... Like, what are you doing? So, Cyclones, Marines, and Vikings are all easily accessible and well-established counters. Now, usually this is good when you combine it with things like Storm. Mostly Storm. Honestly, it's 90% Storm. But these are single target... Well, technically the Mothership can fire 4 beams at once. It was kind of buffed at some point. Not too long ago, but... And that makes it okay against Marines, I guess. But you still have to be in range of most other things. There is one thing. Maru hasn't scouted the entire game. He scouts, he's like, Tempest! And Maru takes a moment for contemplation, then says, oh wait, Tempest. Okay, whatever. As well he should. Slaps down an array of turrets. Sure, the Raven goes down, but yes, he just kind of walks in because, yeah, there's no damage here from herO. He's gonna kill the Nexus. The Mothership! Well, okay. And this goes about as well as it ever could for herO, which is very poorly. The Tempest will live if he had been able to... If the Mothership... If he hadn't built that Tempest quite as early and he had gotten the Mothership, honestly, maybe there was a chance. But yeah, it's time for the 1 Mothership, 3 Tempest attack timing. And, well... Does he have a time warp? No. But the Mothership doing a pretty good job of spreading out the... Come on. Like, right now, I'm looking at... I've got a whole list of things. All right? Of things. And this is not on it. It's not a thing! All right, look at the list. So... I mean, let me check. There's an appendix. No. Well, Maru's building 4 Vikings at a time. Which should be more than... He's building a 3rd starport. herO is going for Templar. Though he doesn't have enough for Storm. Because he's building Tempests. I don't know how many Tempests it takes to one-shot a Viking. But... most units, it's not so important you reach a critical mass, a breaking point, where you can kill certain units in a single volley. But Tempests are the most prone to overkill in the entire game. Trying to think of another unit that suffers from potential overkill more. And so it's very easy, even when you're microing, to waste a significant percentage of your shots. Like, if all 5 of those massive Tempest balls slap into a single Marine... Well, lucky Marine, but also unlucky Tempest. herO just adding in Archons on the ground. He does have +1, and Charge Lot Archon is pretty good against Mass Viking. It is, well, mostly because Mass Viking means there's probably not going to be as much of a ground army or ghosts to counter it. So, well, the Tempests are just shelling, but the Marines, oh, he just walks up. Down goes 1, down goes 2. And, yeah. Yeah, the Vikings, the Mothership will cloak. hero's not going to be getting a 4th base anytime soon. And, well, the Vikings will knock down the Tempest. I'm sure they'll hit the deck, get in front of the Marines, and, yeah, there's a shield battery. Maybe if everything was together at the very start of all this, there's a tiny chance that herO wouldn't be outright dead. I wouldn't have bet on it. Maru ties it up. herO. He's an entertainer, all right? Winning for him is making sure that you are entertained. And are you not entertained? But, unfortunately, the chances of him taking a clean victory, or at least a decisive one, have dropped somewhat drastically now. A Mothership rush? And unlike many of herO's strategies, I don't think there were many moments where it looked like, oh, well, maybe. But I love your gumption, son, but you're in way over your head. It's never stopped him before. Game 5, Ruby Rock. herO in the top left, Maru in the bottom right. I mean, he was clearly angling for it. I don't know if it was map dependent. 10,000 feet is a little bit easier to defend your outlying bases because there's that moat around the center base. But maybe if you could turn it into an actual island. But unfortunately, the Marines just come stimming in. And, well, I do like this. He checks his corners. Okay, he knows doors and corners. That's where they get you. And he's never liked doors. And he will never be cornered. And when he is, he's most... Anyways, the point is he's scouting for Maru to proxy barracks right behind his base. It's a very... Maru, definitely no stranger to the... And now I've got a base in your base sort of strategies. In fact, there was like 1 or 2 years where that was more often than not. That was the reactored Cyclone years. You're like, which ones? Because the Cyclone has been reworked individually more than, like... Protoss, well, Protoss has also been reworked. Anyways, the Cyclone has had an identity crisis since it existed. But I think it's finally found its place as totally not a Goliath bro. Which it always has been, but still is. Whereas the Thor is just 3 Goliaths strapped together in a trench coat and a power armor suit. Unfortunately, they pay a premium for it as well. What is this? Why is there a tech lab? Gotta focus on Maru a little bit more. Sure, focusing on herO pays dividends, but... again, going with the Cyclone first rush, which, with the very, I think, gas barracks command center and then factory, which gives him potentially a Cyclone at least around the time an Adept could come across the map, which is just before 3 minutes. So, certainly a curious play. This time around, herO back to sanity, snaps back to reality, except in the case of a hallucination. He doesn't want to get caught again. Or he forgot. I'm not sure which one it is. He energy recharged the sentry. Maybe he waits until he has 125. So that way, he always has the force field. Nope. He may have just... I love it. I honestly think, like, 80% of the time, there's no reason not to hallucinate an Oracle. Just for the potential split second. Doesn't matter if you're against Terran, Protoss, or Zerg. Unless they know for a fact you're not going Stargate, the Oracle is only marginally slower. Yeah, he realizes the Cyclone will probably knock him out. Is herO gonna bite on that one? He saw the upgrade start. The interference matrix, which is a fake. Though, I'm not sure if the tech lab itself is a fake. Like, he could follow up with a Raven, potentially. Maru making a little bulwark to box out Blink Stalkers. He also has not scouted much past the outer edges of his base, and that was mostly the Cyclone looking to intercept the hallucination. A single Widowmine drop. Doesn't play well with others. I think no Widowmine would. only other Widow Mines. The only unit that doesn't take splash damage from Widow Mines. Puzzled that one out. And away we don't. As the drop. Ooh, oh, space escape over there. Will he? Won't he? He will, but only if the Stalkers aren't there. Just this medevac existing. The threat, he doesn't know. He didn't even show the Widowmine. It could be a medevac with nothing in it. But until he drops out of the medevac, it could be full of 4 Widowmines, or it could have nothing. Schrodinger's medevac. That's totally what that means. That's 100%. All right, I will not brook any discussion. Fancy words. Anyways, Whoa! He just goes! See, he gets hit by a siege tank, and hero's first instinct is go forward. Which, you know, if slightly over 50% of the time, it works out. Meanwhile, the Widowmine did find an opportunity, some Prairie Dog micro. The Stalker's still dancing. Oh, medevac gets knocked out of the sky because Maru overstayed his welcome. He wasn't welcome at all, so. Well, the medevac going down, that you really don't want to lose the medevac fan, obviously, but like, wow. Picking off a laundry list, 8 Marines, loses a few Stalkers, but there's already charge on the way, as well as Storm. An incredibly quick Templar archives for herO. And, well, the boys getting pulled just to absorb a few more volleys. Stim's not done. It's all coming together here, but does he have concussive? No. And no medevacs means he has to... Oh, there we go. The medevacs means has... It's a little safe. Spots the mines. Will juggle out of one, gets another. The Stim Marines and Marauders are chasing, but the Stalkers are trotting away. And blink. Picks off another one. And Maru, no, get him! He wants that Stalker so bad. And, yoinks it away like Lucy with the football. Get out of here, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is definitely a Terran player. Come on, let's be honest here. And Lucy is definitely Protoss. I can't believe that unlocks something. I have not referenced or thought about that. Wow. Nice nostalgia. Moving on. A Widowmine still gonna dance. Oh, the Raven wanders a little bit too close. Oh, but the Storms are ready. And Maru wades into it. Easily deals with it for now, but there's a couple more. Eats the hit on one of the most bruised Stalkers. There's a proxy gate on the way. On both sides, just hedging his bets. Why not? Because he kept so much pressure on Maru. The Raven, still some hits. Sacrifices another Zealot for the greater good. And the high ground, but he comes around, tries to storm up to the high ground. Has a shot, gets it onto the Widowmine. There's an anti-armor missile for what it's worth. Very little. The Zealots taking a lot of damage, but here comes herO. The Storms, the Marines and Marauders in autumn colors. They tried to joust on the field back and forth, but never were able to heal, and now the medevacs. The Storms just washing over everything. And Archon in the midst of it all. More Zealots warping in, and another wave. And Maru is at very severe risk of getting washed away. The boys will be pulled, but herO never let him recover. Maru dug too deep and too greedily. He tried to chase herO across the map, but fighting him on his own turf, which is gestures wildly at the map. And the Widowmines get stormed as well. It's enough damage to take him out. Zealot each one, 22 SCVs dead. The medevac's already almost there as well. The Marines and Marauders trying to but wait, there's more. And another storm, and another storm. The Category 5 storms are more than enough. And GG. herO goes to match point with the most relatively standard build so far out of anyone in this series, but still an incredibly effective one. So, no Mothership rush, no 10 base timing, just a good old-fashioned blink into charge with a few Templars scattered in there for flavor. What would the Protoss know again about flavor? Very little. Well, Maru overestimated his position, and you cannot afford miscalculations against herO. Unless you can. It really depends on what hero's doing, to be honest. Old Republic. Another topsy-turvy game. As always, the series seems to revolve around what madness herO is reaching towards. Yeah, Maru with some interesting new takes on the early game with the Cyclone first, which I think against most players would be quite good, because most players like an Adept or a single hallucinated Phoenix or something, but like the action, it almost feels like a reflex. It's not even an active thought. He gets hit by a siege tank, he just goes. Like, before, and if there's even a half-second hesitation, then the siege tank gets another shot, and even if it dies, and that's how the defense comes together. But the siege tank literally getting one hit and dying because herO literally has no hesitation about blunking into the fray. How do you counter that? Here's the thing, though, like, if you play too defensive, then he's just going to take the map. If you play too aggressive, then you run the risk of getting shivved on the field. Of course, Maru has shown, if we get there, he can play defensive, obviously. But there was no better map than Mothership, I think, to execute that. And now, I mean, this, all you need is like 4, maybe 5 bases, which sounds like a lot, but most maps have 7 or 8 if you were to cut it in half. The Reaper scouting for proxies. Like, pretty diligently as well. Well, what do they have in store for it? This time it's Reaper Hellion from Maru, which is different. Back to the basics. We saw this in game 1, I believe, where the Reaper Hellion ended up getting an inordinate amount of damage, despite herO seemingly being ready for it. Doing his incredibly uncomfortable patrol pathing. But he'll spot it, and this is a hard wall for the first time, and maybe the last. herO manages to set up the wall flush with the side, which means the Reapers can't even jump up and see any of this. And it's not like he does... What? There's no Twilight. It's just 3 gates. Like, they won't be able to see the Twilight. No, there is no Twilight. He's just going for... Well, the emotional support field is there. He's just making Stalkers. Is that a mistake? Or is it a happy little accident? Does he know he doesn't have a Twilight? He's warping in a lot of Stalkers, but he has 200 gas in the bank. So, there's a drop coming out. Robo. And he's gonna intercept the medevac, which means he doesn't... And this time around, Maru started the +1 before. I mean the interference matrix. So the fake might work out. What? What is this? Why is it a Stargate? I don't understand. Why? What? Here's like, oh, it's time. I got a game to burn. All right. That Mothership, I figured it out. All right. And now at Twilight, you can't just get the whole tech tree before doing anything. Oh, but so Maru is just sitting back, afeared of whatever herO might do. But herO's doing everything and nothing all at the same time. He got a Robo, he got a Twilight, and a Stargate. Not even in that order. He's getting Phoenixes. He's hallucinating Phoenixes. Maru's not gonna know what's real anymore. Which is, maybe partially the point. Like, a single Widow Mind drop. He's gonna spot the completely real Phoenixes. We'll see if he reacts. Once it takes damage, he'll realize, oh yeah, in a single Widow Mind, yeah, why not pick it up? Or don't. That's also an option. Not sure why you wouldn't, but you know what? herO, what are you doing? Oh my. Okay. Yeah, alright, well. He's retargeting, recalculating. You can only do this at this moment while it's locking up, but Fana gets the shot. And Maru, okay. The Widow Mine, gonna try to scamper away, but don't you dare pick it up now. I'm gonna be so upset. He's just going Phoenix charge lot. This feels like he just jumped in. He said, we'll see where the... He jumped into this game. He's like, we'll see where the winds take us. It's like, herO, no, you have to have meticulous build orders. You gotta map it out beforehand. You gotta figure out how many minerals and how much gas. Hero's like, what if I just get everything? And then we'll see what sparks joy. It's like, no! You can't have one with everything, Buddha. Calm down. Like, how about a RoboBay? Colossus? These are all the good units. What is he doing? He's got some Phoenixes mixed in. You know, if Maru doesn't know what he's doing, if herO doesn't know what he's doing, how can Maru? Is where I was slowly making my way towards. Maru has... He's building... missile turrets. He's got the bio. herO doesn't even have charge done yet, but the Phoenixes are gonna deny any scouting by just continually patrolling the edges. It takes a bit of a bruising, but sure, why not? Nothing into Phoenix into Colossus with some charge lots kind of thrown in there. Yeah. Thinks about trying to lift up the Widow Mines, but realizes that's a fool's errand. Unfortunately, the Warp Prism with some intense micro. And we'll dodge into the main. The charge is done. herO, looking toward it. There's not going to be enough time to take out the Prism. A lot of the Marines are committed. That's 3 tanks. But now it's not. The 3 tanks are lifted up. herO slides underneath. And the tanks will be dropped down into the units lost tab one by one. The Widow Mines slam into Maru's army seconds before 1-1 completes. And it still wasn't a good idea, but somehow it was a great one. herO decides to do a little bit of the old up-down maneuver. He's going to poke and prod at the SCVs, which Phoenixes are pretty inefficient at killing. But he kills all the tanks. I think he took out the Raven. And... he's building, I mean, he has 4 bases. He's just running around in circles, and Maru's hurting himself in his own confusion. He's trying to figure out which direction to go. But right now, the extended thermal lance is almost complete, and mine's been there for many games now. So, herO, with a supply lead, he sieges up the Observer and gets vision. Just gonna pick up some of the Marauders. And what are you gonna do about it? The boys are pulled into Colossi. Maru does not have Vikings. He's producing them now. His medevacs are almost out of energy. And herO's just warping in. He's got 9 gates. He's got the rest of the tech tree. He's got 4 more gates on the way. And he's got 1 game. That's all he needs. He picks up the Widow Mines. The Phoenixes eat the Widow Mines. Over the top. The Warp Prism leading the charge. A bold move. The charge lot's a little bit behind. Less bold. Meanwhile, The Colossi just incinerating both the SCVs and the Marines. The Vikings are not enough. He might be able to dodge the shots with the Prism. And, well, he's going for it. Meanwhile, just targets the Prism. Targets the... What? He recalls? Recalls? Oh, come on, herO. Recalls one Colossus while Maru's actively dying to charge lots. That's just disrespectful and totally on brand when these two face each other. Maru is bleeding out on the field, and herO says, "I'll see you next series." That was a Colossus. A GG! herO has done it again. herO has won now. Both of the major tournaments he's participated in this year. He's defeated Clem. He's defeated Cyril. He's defeated Maru. Who can stop him? There might be a discussion now, I think. Not just... And he's built... By the way, he was building a fleet beacon and 2 Stargates at the end of the game. Because of course he was. Not just a discussion about the rank 1 Protoss, but a real discussion about rank 1 player. Who will stop him? I look forward to seeing more challengers approach. But, wow. The smiling assassin and the Mad King reigns supreme. He takes the Rongyi Cup and the lion's share of over $20,000 in yet another victory against Maru. I certainly hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thank you to the SC boys for another incredible tournament. I'm looking forward to the Liu Cup as well, coming up soon. I'm not sure if they're producing it. It's another Chinese tournament. But either way, thank you for... Oh, watch that herO versus Raynor and herO versus Maru series. It was somehow way different than both of them, somehow way different than this one. But that's herO for you. Not the Protoss we deserve, but the one we need right now. Thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free, at least for now. Do our Mule Tier patrons, Big G, Devendor, Kate, Mario, Soup. Go ahead, just still enjoy. And make sure to check out this video. Jimmy picked it out right for you. Or maybe that other... Okay, all right. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. Congratulations, herO. Stay chill.